Right, another day of World Cup action, and there's been, again, the boring ones, the shocks, and the impressive wins. We'll start with the first game of the day, the boring one. It is Morocco versus Croatia. And yeah, it did disappoint a bit, didn't it? Neither side took control of the game at any point. This is just a nothing game, really. Croatia obviously had the more talent in the team with the midfielder Modric, Brozovic, and Kovacic, but never really took control of the game in possession at all, really. It was a weird game. They had 65% possession, but they never really threatened Morocco, really. Morocco played quite well. They didn't allow Croatia any big chances. They would have been happy with a draw, probably. Losing Mazraoui early didn't help. Yeah, he's a big player for them. Well, not early, but in the 60th minute. If they had him on to 90th minute, things could have been different because the guy who came on was absolutely useless. But a bit more quality in the final third. Ziyech, you just expect a bit more from him, but you can tell he hasn't played football in a while. It didn't really fall for any team to do anything. Both defences defended well, and neither attack really sparked anything like the XG in this game. 0.37 for Morocco, 0.52 for Croatia. It wasn't a game for attacks. In the second half, 0.12 to Morocco, 0.11 to Croatia. That is insane. There's been better XG with just one shot. Most shots were better XG than that combined. It was just a team it just looked like a game of two teams that just didn't really want to risk losing. Like in the other games, like the other 0-0s, it was just two teams that didn't want to risk losing. And for Croatia, that was I'd understand that from Morocco because they've usually underperformed at World Cups, and getting draw against a team like Croatia is a good thing. Like they were in the finals last time out, and they got world-class players in Luka Modric, Marcelo Brozovic, and Kovacic. They probably aren't world-class, but they've been probably. Brozovic's probably been world-class in his career. Kovacic has been really good. You also got Guardiola. He's an up-and-coming talent. Kramaric is good. Perisic is dangerous. Paslic off the bench. Like they've got amazing players. Like Morocco do have amazing players, but not all over the pitch. So you would expect Croatia to come out more, but you can tell also the physicality of the game. Croatia's midfield, not the most mobile midfield, so maybe that could do something with even attack, not the most mobile attack. So that could have something to do with it, but yeah, not much for me to take from that game apart from neither team fancied to, go out, put themselves out and win the game. Second game of the day, what a game. Japan beating Germany 2-1. Germany absolutely controlled the game. They were in control of the game. And then there were a few moments in the game where Japan would get forward and go a bit more quality, and they probably could carve Germany open, or they could do this, or could do that, but not many times. But there's a few times where you go a bit more quality, a bit more composure there, a few more bodies, and yeah, they could probably do something, but it never really happened. And then Germany made a sub. I think that probably changed it a bit. Gundogan going off of Goretzka. Gundogan was really controlling the game, keeping the ball moving, keeping the ball ticking. Goretzka's not that kind of play. He's more box, likes to get further forward, doesn't really drop deep that much. So it all kind of relied on Joshua Kimmich to get the ball out of the back, and yeah, Japan really really exposed that move from Flick, and then the substitutes of Mitoma, Doan, Sano off the bench, Minamino, forward-thinking changes. Tommy Esser at half-time just to shore things up, taking out Kubo. But Mitoma of Brighton, he's so good. I watched him in the Premier League this season. As soon as I saw him, he's a threat. He's a threat. Every time he gets forward, he looks forward, he dribbles at players, he's fast, he's quick with his feet as well. You've always got to love players like that. And Germany scored through the penalty for Gundogan. They had other chances. They could have easily killed off the game. Gnabry a couple of times, good saves from the keepers quite a few times. But just before, a few minutes before the Japan equalised, Manuel Neuer made an amazing save. And then Japan smashed it wide. It kind of in a similar situation to their first goal. It rebounded out, smashed it wide. But Doan didn't make that mistake in the second time. He came in. No one made the save. It was a good save because it was about to fall to the Japan player at the back post. He made a save, but the Germany players were slow to react to it, and he came in and smashed it in. And 1-0 Japan would have took that, but they still kept going forward. They still kept threatening. And 8 minutes later, they scored again, like just from a goal kick, wasn't it? Or at least from playing out the back. Like, it was just one long ball at the top. Nicholas Schuler, he drops deep way too early, way too early. And then Asano goes through, perfect touch to set it through for himself. And Norway probably could have come out a bit better. He kind of stayed on his line maybe a bit too soon. But it's still a great finish. Like, he didn't allow much space. It was perfect finish to get past Norway. And it's not an easy finish at all. Smashed it in. And yeah, and then they rode out the rest of the game 2-1, but massive shock. Germany under Hansi Flick hasn't been great so far, really. It's weird, you thought they would have probably improved, but especially with all the Bayern players there, but they haven't been that good. Like, in the last few games, it's been draw versus Italy, draw versus England, draw versus Hungary, beating Italy, losing to Hungary, draw with England, beating them on, losing to Japan. So it's not been great recently, and then they've got Spain next. But what do you change if you're Hansi Flick? You might change Kai Havertz, because he's just anonymous, isn't he? I don't really know what Kai Havertz is good at, to be honest. It's weird, but maybe you do look at Adeyemi or Falcon or Coco just as an outlet up front, or maybe Müller up front and bring in Goretzka as midfield 3 with Gundogan and Kimmich, but they like the 4-2-3-1. So maybe bringing in Leroy Sané, maybe move Musiala into the middle. You know, there's doubts over Sané's fitness. But Kai Havertz up front, he's just not very good, is he? He's just not very good. But yeah, Germany, look, they could have killed the game. They could have easily gone 2-3-0 up, so maybe people are overreacting, but in the World Cup, you can't afford that. In the last World Cup, the same things happened. Maybe, I would say, take the cliche out of right back, but then what have you got? Klosterman or Ginter or Kochap? Timo Kehrer, there's not really many good options. Maybe you move Kimmich back there, put Goretzka into midfield. That could be an option. It's probably the best option. But then you're losing Kimmich in midfield, and Kimmich in midfield is amazing. It's weird. It's a weird thing. Jamal Musiala looked threatening, but end product wise probably wasn't great. Vittorio Endo in midfield was really good, bit winning the ball back a lot. But yeah, Germany should make it to knockouts, but you know, Spain aren't an easy team. Costa Rica they really should beat, but if Japan beat Costa Rica, they're probably out. And then again for Japan, if they do beat Costa Rica, they have a massive chance of making out the knockouts. And it's just, you know, never giving up. It was typical Japan, high energy, high work rate, play the team, and you win games. I said that yesterday, I said it the day before. You work as a team, you play, you play with high energy, high work rate, you never give up, and you can get results in these games. I said yesterday, teams that, are playing higher up pitch, they don't know what they're doing yet as much. You thought maybe that's different with Germany, all the Bayern players, yeah, but no. They still struggle with the different kind of players around them. But again, yes, it's easier to defend as with high energy with less time to prepare than attack with all these interchanging movements. It's a lot easier to do that. One team it wasn't a struggle for was Spain. They were amazing. Best performance by any side of World Cup by far. Absolutely brushed aside. I said yesterday it'll probably be a 1 or 2-0 win for Spain because they're just going to pass it around and Costa Rica will be hard to beat, but they proved that wrong, didn't they? absolutely smashed Costa Rica 7-0. 3.53 expected goals to 0.00, not that one. A single shot on goal was very impressive. 82% possession. 1,045 passes. 1,045 passes. Wow. You could probably say that's Costa Rica at the World Cup, unless they beat Germany and Spain and Japan. Yeah, they opened the scoring. Gavi with a lovely ball, great control by Dani Olmo. Asensio with a great finish, Ferran Torres with a penalty, Ferran Torres with a finish. Gavi with a great goal. His goal was great on the volley. And Soler and Morata at the end, but Gavi and Pedri in midfield was absolutely wonderful. Pedri, in 57 minutes, Pedri, 92 touches, 86 out of 89 passes, 3 key passes, 4 out of 5 long balls, 2 out of 2 ground duels, 2 tackles. What a player. What a player. He's 19 years old. 19. And Gavi just turning 18 as well, scoring and assisting in the World Cup with 67 out of 74 passes. 6 out of 11 ground balls. Amazing. And they even played Rodri at centre back. It probably helped them, to be honest. Just a bit better ball playing than having like Eric Garcia or Pau Torres. Just having something that probably can move up the pitch a bit more. But yeah, Spain looked amazing. They looked good in the Euros last time out, but I think maybe in later stages, but against teams with a bit more physicality, they could struggle. But also, and the team that are a bit more, resistant to defending. Costa Rica did, make quite a few mistakes defensively. But the difference between, this side and then maybe like the Argentina or the Germany is that they play this style. Every player that's grown up has played this style since they were 4 or 5 years old. They've played this style with the national team forever. They play this style with the club teams week in, week out. They know what to do. And it showed. They knew what they were doing. And they could be a real threat because they know what they're doing. A lot of teams don't really know what they're doing yet. And it was amazing to watch some of the passing they were doing. And they got some rest for their players. Alba Busquets going out at 64 minutes, Pedri going out after 57, Ferran Torres out after 57, getting rest into some players, making sure they're ready for the next game. Great performance from Spain, put them on the map, and having Luis Enrique as a national team coach is an absolute joke. He is such a great coach, such a great manager. Probably the best international coach, probably by far. Yeah, probably by far. If you look at the other ones, like they might. If you put most or at least most of the other coaches, the managed national team into club size, they wouldn't do that well. But Luis Enrique won the treble with Barcelona. His style perfectly fits most big teams or any possession-based team. He's so good. Yeah. One team that wasn't very good was Belgium, but they won 1-0 against Canada, and it was dodgy, wasn't it? And Canada came out of the blocks flying, didn't they? Belgium, the physicality they could not deal with at all. Getting a penalty after 8 minutes, but Alphonso Davies missing it. They probably should have had 2 more penalties. One that they couldn't give because they gave offside, even though Hazard passed it back to the player. Terrible refereeing. And then the next one, Witsel literally kicks over the player, but they don't give it, which is really weird. But then just before half-time, Batshuayi scores, and Canada really slowed down in the second half. But the stats were, a bit down on Belgium's side. 22 shots for Canada, 9 shots for Belgium. 2.61 XG for Canada, 0.76 for Belgium. De Bruyne had a really bad game. He had 4 key passes, but he could have had 8 or 9 if he just passed better or anything. But Canada, respects them, they caused him a lot of trouble. Alphonso Davies and Jonathan David didn't have a good game, and Canada still played really well. What does that say about them as a team? If Alphonso Davies probably wasn't off the back of his injury, they probably would have won that game. But you can see Alphonso Davies, once it got to the 67th minute, you can tell he hasn't played in a while. You can tell he was still nursing a bit of that injury. Jonathan David played really bad. His link-up play wasn't good. His finishing off wasn't very good. He could have played a lot better. He had 1.1 expected goals. A player that has done what he has done this past few seasons, you expect him to score at least one of them chances, especially that header as well. Buchanan should have took away from one of his chances. But yeah, you can tell kind of the quality up front wasn't there, but you got to respect the high energy size. But really preyed on Belgium's weaknesses, which is their physicality, and that's why I don't think they'll get that far. Playing your middle back five, exclude the wing backs of Jan Vertonghen, Tobit Alderweireld, the end of Den Donker, Yuri Tielemans, and Axel Witsel. There is no speed in that. No speed. Like, what made Roberto Martinez think that Canada aren't going to like look at that and go like, well, you're all absolutely either ancient or just all slow. And yeah, you can probably play through us at times because you just have good technical skills and you're very experienced. But yeah, we'll just play balls on the sides of the wing back, stretch them out, get bodies in the midfield, use our physicality, and yeah, they did that. So against the top sides, it'll be interesting to see what happens to Belgium because they look really bad and they look physically very bad. Michy Batshuayi in front, he got the goal, but he played terribly. So many times he would make the wrong run, or would make the right run, and then make the wrong decision, or miscontrol the ball. They could have had so many more opportunities, but Batshuayi didn't, fulfill them. Yeah, with both teams against Morocco, you can kind of see if they're a bit more brave than they were against Croatia. They can do the same things that Canada did because they do also have high energy players on their side. With the way they play against Croatia, it looks like they're just going to try and contain. Croatia against Belgium is going to be interesting because both of them lack physicality in their side. So we've probably quite a slow game, that one. But Canada and Morocco will be quite fun. That'll be a fun game. Because it's just two high energy sides. We'll see if Morocco come out a bit more front foot, because Canada look like they want to play on the front foot. They came out against Belgium and played on the front foot, which is very brave of them. Left a lot of space in at the time, and if Belgium had a bit more quality in the ball, if De Bruyne didn't have a bit of an off day, they probably could have scored a couple more. But they were brave, and it worked. It nearly worked for them. Nearly worked for them. If they converted that penalty, who knows? They probably would have gone up to one. If they won 1-0, no one could have complained. That's how good they were. But it wasn't to be. Tomorrow's action: Switzerland, Cameroon. I'm sure we'll see our yearly or 4-yearly Shared and Shaqiri absolute masterclass. But it'll be an interesting game. Got some good players. Cameroon, Frank and Gisa, Choupo-Moting, Toko Ekambi, got some good players there. It will be quite a close game. Switzerland do tend to cause a couple of upsets, or at least do alright in tournaments. Xhaka on great form for Arsenal could do something. Uruguay, South Korea, it'll be interesting to see what Uruguay look like. Whether they will go with the Suarez, Nunes or Cavani. Whether Araujo's fit, if they go Pedestrian on the right wing, fit Valverde. Is Son going to be fit? Because that's all probably South Korea hoping on. If Son's not fit, you probably can't see him doing much, but if Son's fit, yes, you can. Portugal, Ghana, how Portugal going to look like? At times they do look good, but also at times you go, no, just no. That Portugal have the squad to win the tournament, but we've seen time after time that they just don't turn up, or they just don't work together, or maybe that is just having Ronaldo up front and they all just admire Ronaldo, want to get to talk to Ronaldo, but that happened at the Euros last time out. They just go, it's just not clicking, it's just something not happening. They had a good warm-up game the other day, Bruno Fernandes scoring twice. That was without Ronaldo, so with Ronaldo it's going to be different. Ghana have quite a few good players. They have Naki William up front, Kudus to his party, Salisu at the back, who, yes, he has a mistake in him, but also has the ability to lock up Ronaldo. Be a very interesting game. Obviously, the Ayew brothers as well have gone. And then probably the best game of the game, best day of the game, best game of the day, sorry. Brazil versus Serbia. Serbia have quality. Vlahovic, Tadic, Milinkovic-Savic. Mitrovic is a doubt, probably. Kostic is a bit of a doubt as well, but Brazil, probably the favourites going into the tournament. Neymar, they've got Casemiro, Paqueta, Bruno Guimaraes, Rafinha in there as well. Gabriel Jesus, a lot of quality in there. Probably will be able to beat Serbia maybe because Serbia's attack is a lot better than defence, and defence is, is their weakness. But Brazil have quality all over the pitch, and they're probably looking to show why the tournament favourites tomorrow. But yeah, looks like another good day of games, and I'll see you tomorrow. I'll run down through them games and talk about what happened in them. But like and subscribe, share your thoughts on the games in the comments, and see you next time.